Welcome back to the channel. A tragic plane crash has shaken Washington, D.C. Stay tuned for all the details. On January 29, 2025, at approximately 8:15 p.m., American Airlines Flight 5342, a Bombardier CRJ-700 operated by PSA Airlines, was approaching Washington's Ronald Reagan National Airport when it collided midair with a U.S. Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River. The commercial flight was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while the military helicopter had 3 soldiers on board. Tragically, all 67 people on both aircraft were killed. Eyewitnesses reported seeing an explosion in the sky followed by debris falling into the river. Rescue operations took place in 35 degrees Fahrenheit 1.6 degrees Celsius water temperatures, making recovery efforts even more challenging. So far, 40 bodies have been recovered from the Potomac River, while search teams continue efforts to locate the remaining victims. The Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) and the National Transportation Safety Board (NTSB) have launched investigations to determine the cause of the accident. The aircraft's flight data and cockpit voice recorders have been recovered, which will provide crucial evidence for the investigation. Preliminary reports indicate that air traffic control staffing levels were below normal at the time of the crash, raising concerns about safety protocols in high-traffic areas like Washington, D.C. Aviation experts are alarmed that such a collision could happen in one of the most heavily monitored airspaces in the country. Many are calling for a thorough review of flight control procedures. Former President Donald Trump made controversial remarks, suggesting without evidence that diversity, equity, and inclusion policies within federal agencies may have contributed to the crash. He also blamed Obama and Biden, arguing that their policies have weakened aviation safety. But what exactly did he say? Let's break it down.
We must have only the highest standards for those who work in our aviation system. I changed the Obama standards from very mediocre at best to extraordinary. You remember that. Only the highest aptitude, they have to be the highest intellect and psychologically superior people were allowed to qualify for air traffic controllers. That was not so prior to getting there. When I arrived in 2016, I made that change very early on because I always felt this was a job that, and other jobs too, but this was a job that had to be superior intelligence, and we didn't really have that, and we had it. And then when I left office and Biden took over, he changed them back to lower than ever before. I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first. And they put politics at a level that nobody's ever seen, because this was the lowest level. Their policy was horrible, and their politics was even worse. So as you know, last week, long before the crash, I signed an executive order restoring our highest standards for air traffic controllers and other important jobs throughout the country. So it was very interesting. About a week ago, almost upon entering office, I signed something last week that was an executive order, very powerful, on restoring the highest standards of air traffic controllers and others, by the way. Then my administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety. We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like, how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent, the word talent. They have to be talented, naturally talented geniuses. You can't have regular people doing that job. They won't be able to do it. But we'll restore faith in American air travel.
His comments sparked mixed reactions. Some support his concerns over federal hiring practices, while others criticize him for politicizing a tragedy without any factual basis. Political analysts note that Trump's remarks could influence future debates about hiring policies, especially for critical roles such as air traffic controllers. The investigation will continue with a detailed analysis of the flight recorders and interviews with relevant personnel. Further official statements are expected in the coming days, and congressional hearings may be held to discuss potential changes in aviation safety regulations. Search and recovery operations are still underway, with authorities focusing on locating the remaining victims. This accident could have significant political consequences, particularly in discussions about federal employment policies and airspace safety. What are your thoughts on this tragic event? Do you think Trump's statements will have an impact on the ongoing investigation? Could this accident have a political impact? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Thanks for watching.